allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to approve the agenda? Dustin, second by Carrie. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We need to certify the election results. I'll entertain a motion to receive our 3 new members. By Chris, second by Carrie. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 7-0. Mrs. Secretary, would you like to swear in the new members?
Swear in, not swear in.
Oh.
Keys.
This game, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of school director
the duties of school director
in and for my district,
in and for my district,
number R80, County of Dent,
number R80, County 5th,
State of Missouri,
State of Missouri,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
according to the law,
according to the law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome.
Can I grab a picture now or later?
Of just the newbies?
Yes.
Quickly.
Yeah.
She's always in the way.
That's okay.
These media people, just,
I know, we're careful.
Hey.
with cameras, sorry.
Did I just get stuck there? Did I get stuck there?
Okay, we need to elect board president. Nomination.
Yeah, I think Bernie's done a pretty dang good job. I'd like to nominate Bernie to stay for president.
Okay.
Second that.
Nominations, nomination seats. All in favor?
Aye.
I think I need to be vice president.
Yes, you do.
Okay, we elect a VP.
I'll make a motion to nominate Dustin for vice president.
I'll second that.
Nomination. Okay. Good vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. So short, but short-lived there, bud. We'll entertain a motion for Secretary of the Board.
Motion to appoint Carrie Snyder as Secretary of the Board.
Carrie.
Second that.
Second by Chris. Any other nominations? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 601. And nominations for Treasurer.
Motion to appoint Chris Haven, Treasurer.
Second.
Second by Carrie. Any other nominations? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So. We also need to nominate a delegate, an alternate to the MSBA, or the MSBA delegate, and alternate. I think Carrie did it. I think Carrie and.
I think I was you.
Was that all?
Yeah, no, yeah. You and Bernie, that's right. We should just keep it that way.
I nominate Larry.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Holly, second by Carrie. Any other nominations? That's for the delegate, correct? And I believe the duties are just at the state convention, right? Okay. Any other nominations? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? You accepted the nomination, correct? Woo! And nominations for an alternate?
Make a motion for Holly O'Reilly to be the alternate.
Second.
Second by Larry. Any other nominations? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Yeah. E-R-W-A-Y.
I need a motion to adjourn and move into our regular monthly meeting.
So moved.
Dustin, second by Carrie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, we will go back
Well,
to sign it.
Dustin wasn't being,
There's no signature for him.
just secretary. Okay. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
We got approved agenda on my shirt. Change. Yes,
Okay, we need to approve the agenda for this half of the meeting with one change to the agenda on the nurses report and the consent agenda. We had a couple different drugs for
Medications.
or his,
I heard drugs, that's what I heard in the report.
is there a difference?
Of treating drugs. The way it sounds.
Do you want to explain what
I would.
happened? Okay.
In the nurse's report, it said that she was going to be giving inhaled aminophylline, and it should have been inhaled albuterol. And so that is what was being given, that is what they are doing, but it was typed
Typo.
correctly in the report, so it is going to change.
Okay. Got that?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Medications.
So, that was moved by Holly, second by Drew. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so carries. Communications, Madam Secretary? Any of those?
Not Mr. Siblings, that wasn't on the
Yeah,
record.
there you
Okay.
go. Move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Harbahall.
Okay. Had a very good and very busy month, obviously. First thing, I want to have a public thank you to Scott Hubbard from Everything Cinema, who donated a band trailer. So, very nice gesture, and we're very excited about that. Super nice. I want to mention the track meet was a big success. I think we had 9 or 10 schools there and got a number of comments on with the 13th hole. It was packed. I know it got backed up a little bit on some entries that weren't done correctly, they said, but all the coaches, all the kids commented on the design of the track, which is kind of nice. There's a few things different compared to some of the other tracks. Having a long jump right in front of the stand. I guess the parents loved it because they could see the kids. Didn't have any issues, I guess, ran off that pitch, but I guess a number of them came over. And of course, the track was in such bad shape last year, they all commented. Of course, it was a shock to some of them. They hadn't been here in a year. But a lot of compliments, and that was great. It ran really well. And I know the kids were excited. All the coaches even came up and made comments. So that was good. A couple things. Mr. McCall and I went and met with MIRTA this week, which is the Missouri Retired Teachers Organization. They put on a meeting and invited us there, and had a great meeting. They kept us kind of up to date on things that they run into when they go down to the state. They're always fighting for our retirement because there's always some yahoo out there in the legislature thinks he knows more than what the people do that invest the money. They're always trying to basically take control and, so to speak, steal PSRS's money and run it themselves. And this group is always fighting for us, but talked about the strength of retirement. It's about 80% funded, which is solid, very solid. And it's good to have the ex-teachers, former teachers, I should say, down there battling for the present teachers. But they gave us an update on that and what their organization does, very informative. And then Mr. McCall and I gave our spiel, and John talked about some of the conceptions of Common Core, and I think that went over really well because there's a faction out there who thinks it's not what we need to do, and he went through the explanation. I think they really enjoyed that. Gave a very long, detailed report on the building project, and of course they were super excited about that because everybody is so hot about what's going on. Went really well. Some things we'll talk about later. We've offered contracts to some very quality candidates and still have some other ones for jobs still coming in the future, so we're excited about that. As for the building project, obviously you can see now it's starting to take some serious shape. The last 2 to 3 weeks have been fantastic with the good weather. I'm just going to go through a list of all the stuff that's been done just recently. The electrical, plumbing, and block work is nearly complete inside. And when I say block work, like the columns, they're putting blocks around it, like cinder block, decker block, and it looks awesome. Besides the fact it's sturdy, I know the kids aren't able to destroy that, but it looks fantastic. And Mr. Clancy was excited because he said it was some of the best work he's seen done. The masons are probably 75% complete now. The high school is done. They still have the columns to do inside the middle school, and they're probably 65% complete outside. So I would suspect that they will be gone by next Thursday if we have good weather. And it really, really, really looks nice. They'll possibly be starting to EIFS tomorrow, if not setting up, and that's basically the stucco, if you want to call it on the outside. They'll be setting up scaffolding, and that's going to really start giving it a good look. And once the EIFS is up, then you'll see the flashing and the gutters go on, and it's going to be sharp. The roofing is basically complete in the high school, with the exception of flashing, and they just finished today the roof on the middle school, so they have really caught back up quickly. Once again, Mr. Clancy's done a great job of getting that organized, getting all the groups working together and around each other. You've seen the windows are in, the storefront windows, and door frames will be in Tuesday, and he said the building will be completely enclosed by Friday. The mutters will be in once they can basically control the temperature inside. Sheet rock has been hung all throughout the interior, with the exception of the office part and the storage. Been an amazing process to watch that go on. You know, with the 12-foot sheets of plywood, and of course they have to have a 2-hour fire-rated burn wall. I'm going to call it down the side of the gymnasium, which is 3 sheets thick, 2.5 inches. It's amazing how fast it's starting to come together, and how solid the building is. It's been kind of neat to watch it because I've never seen something that size actually go up. All the classroom closets are framed in, the door frames are in, and they are sturdy door frames. It's just really nice. That concrete, those insulated forms, it's just amazing what's that done for the building. Blockers should be in, Mr. Smith, next 2 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
That'll probably be the last thing that goes in once the tile goes in the hallways and the carpet in the offices. All the electrical switch stations, transformers, the wire's been moved, all the safety issues have been taken care of. Rommel has started his package, which is security cameras, pull stations, fire alarms, the electronic doors, fire doors will be in next week. The bid packages for the final renovation will go out, some went out this week, you might have seen in the paper. We're going to bid probably the last 6 things that go on, which would be the connectors to the high school and the middle school, the 6 renovated bathrooms, the HVAC units, the library expansion, the library renovation, and then of course the office to classroom renovations. And there's a little bit of kitchen remodel that can be done in the last section. They've almost got the offices complete out there in the commons. Just a lot going on. And we will probably take a visit next board meeting, go see it. And what's amazing to me is they're on schedule. And that just is mind-blowing. Most building projects are about 3 to 4 months behind, but they've been able to catch up with all the crews working at the same time and having, 14 of the last 16 days of good weather. The middle school is not on time. We knew that. It's not as big an issue as long as we get our stuff moved in the high school. And they're looking at probably, which still isn't very late, at probably between June 15th and July 1st. And I'm going to say July 1st, but I think it'll be done at the end of June. So really, really coming together. A lot of excitement about it, obviously. And it's going to be a busy, 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 busy summer because we're going to sit down next week with the maintenance guys to let them know what needs to be done and the order we're going to do it because there's a lot of painting to be done, a lot of floors to be done. Of course, it's going to be a lot of movement too with the 6th grade coming over to the middle school. I know Melanie's going to try to get her building ready too with the transition inside the building, but it's pretty exciting. I don't want to take Christy's thunder, but also I want to. Are you going to talk about how many kids for preschool? I think that's about it. Like I said, been a very good month, and if we can just get one more good week of weather, which it looks like it's gonna be next week. Those buildings will both be enclosed within the month. You know, they're really starting to make their time for good weather, and it's nice to get out of the, hopefully no more snow, ice, or sleet. But I think there weren't as many today, but on Tuesday, I want to say there were 8 different crews out there, and it was pretty neat. So all stuff went off. It's kind of neat to pull in and see them all, you know, all over the building.
How is the budget holding up?
But
Hi.
we're tripping over there. Good, what do you say? We're talking the building budget, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask a public school district about the rest of
No,
their
it's-
budget and stuff.
Even though I'll answer that, but yeah. We're sitting about, the 4.5 is basically spent on new construction, 4 point something. And we probably have, which we'll talk about this at our budget meeting, I'd say about $450,000 to $550,000 left, depending on where, we don't know where new bids will come in yet. And so far, they've really been saving us some money by bidding it out again. Hopefully we can get, which is something we talked about last time, as many local contractors as possible on this last job too. I think we've had 9 so far, 8 or 9, which has gone really well. And one of the ideas of breaking it up in the bid packages will hopefully was to save money, but also keep one company from trying to do everything. Hopefully we can get 4 or 5 different groups in there at the same time, each going to be working different parts of the building. Joey, want to add anything? Want to anything else you think
That's
that?
perfect. It's exactly the rationale behind it.
And we, like I said, we've really, McKinstry's taken good care of us, obviously, and allowed us some good savings. We've even got a couple of deducts coming down the road. I think I think when it first came out, 100% of the project was about I'm going to say $5 million. And of course, we were hoping for 90%, which is about 6.7. And if I was going to give absolutes, I'd say we'll be right around 7.1 or 7.2. And of course, the bond covered almost 4.5, and then the school's going to cover the other. You know, we originally talked about spending 2.5, and we're not going to be much over that because once we fill the building, you know, there's a lot of things that just seem to show up, and we've really not necessarily gone bare bone, but we figure cafeteria tables, chairs, desks, lockers, this stuff to fill it. It's coming in a lot cheaper than we I've never said it very often, but I don't think we're going to, which we talked about, 2 board meetings, I think we're going to get everything we want. Be very close. There might be a few minor things that we done next year, but as for the tile, the carpet, everything that we had asked for, you know, the lockers, HVAC units, the classrooms, the libraries, the cafeteria, the restrooms, which are key, are all going to be done. So it's really amazing. It's kind of coming in where it is, but we still have to find out where the last 5 or 6 bids come in. We're still looking for a donation if you can come up with one really good.
I work for a public service.
So anyhow, but yeah.
Any questions? Anybody? We'll go with the principal's report. Mrs. Crawford.
I shared my discipline data for this month. I've been doing that to you since December. We had 14 discipline referrals for the month of March. Our focus for the month was being respectful learners. And this month, our focus is on being positive. So that, I think we just switched over our song this week. Mrs. Tobin takes care of that, and we have a little song we play every morning that goes along with our thing. It's a pretty good time for the kids. We had kindergarten registration at the end of March. It was very successful, very successful. We enrolled 78 kindergartners. To give you an idea, this year we have 86 kindergartners, I think, today. We never see all of our kindergartners, so I don't know if this group is going to be a big group, or if we really have managed to recruit that many that early, which would be great. The earlier we meet them, the better able we are to be ready for them when they come in. So if that's going to be just 10 less than we're going to see in August, great. If there's way more, we'll make that work too, and we'll be thrilled. Mr. Harbaugh will be even more excited to see enrollment up. Preschool screening was also very successful. We screened 43 preschoolers for next year. Preschool, as it sits right now, there's a couple of changes that are coming down the pipe to that Title I funding. The first of which is I can add 5 more preschoolers to my morning class and 5 more to my afternoon class with a teacher and an aide working. They can have 20 students at a time. That means we can serve 40. We have 10 returning students, which means we have 30 open spots and 43 kids registered. So one of the things that we'll be looking at over the next few weeks is, do we want to add a second preschool classroom to meet that need? How do we want to address that? So those are some decisions that we'll be making, and probably have some information for you in May concerning next year's preschool program. And I am open to any direction that you have for me on that. Kindergarten open house was April 10th from 5 to 7, and it was a great time for those that attended. We had it a little bit earlier this year, and I think we're going to move it back because it was not as well attended as it has been in the past. So always trying to get that feedback from our community and make sure that we're meeting their need. I think that we may look at moving open house to just before regular open house and do our kindergarten tour at that time in August. I think the kids will be a little more excited about it at that time. So that's one change that we may make for next year. Summer school signups started this week for our 2014 summer adventure. We're going to have summer school from May 27th through June 14th, and we want to see everybody there. It's going to be a good time and a great time to reinforce those skills and not lose ground. My teachers took on the colossal task. We made a commitment at the end of last year. You may recall that the name of the test was something, Terra Nova. We've always given the Terra Nova for several years since I've been there. And the Terra Nova test GLEs, we have switched over teaching Common Core, the Missouri Learning Standards. So they didn't really jive. And so those test scores weren't going to really reflect what my kids know and are able to do. So at the end of last year, I asked my teachers, how do you want to handle this? We need some kind of assessment. I think that's very important, to have that benchmark assessment at the end of the year. And they chose to write their own, which was a huge task. And I applaud them as professionals, but I was scared for them too, because there isn't another tool out there for my grade level. There isn't anything that tests kindergarten through 2nd grade against the Missouri Learning Standards. So my teachers have taken on the colossal task of coming up with a document that is going to be rigorous and aligned to those Missouri Learning Standards, and they've worked very hard and super proud of the product they're turning out. We are passing those around to get some feedback right now to make sure that they hold to that standard that we want to be faithful to, and we'll be giving that in about a week. So we're right down to the wire, but they've worked really hard and proud of them. And again, in May, I'll be really excited to share the results of that end of the year assessment with you guys. And next year, we will be giving that twice. We will give it at the beginning of the year to see where our kids are, and we'll be giving it at the end of the year to see how much growth did they have. Don't know, we may consider giving it a mid-year, but it's going to be something that we'll decide as a staff.
Is that something the state has to sign off on?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
We are required to have multiple measures of student growth, and this will be one of those that we submit as one of those measures.
Christy, if you choose to serve only 30 new preschoolers, what criteria do you use to cut out 13?
It's the Title I funded program, so that means we would use their criteria. Now, a lot of people think that that has to do with income, and it would in the school program, but in a preschool program, you go by educational need. And we have to have multiple measures of that as well. So we gave an assessment called the Dial 4 at the screening. We did a parent interview that was very lengthy. If you talk to any of those parents, we asked lots of questions to get background on kids, to find out if there were any red flags we needed to know about. And then Mrs. Crossgrove gave her end of the year assessment. So those will be the measures that we use. And the kids who show the most need would get those 30 spots.
We definitely want to expand it. What a great program, you know, so.
It's amazing.
What's the space? Do we have plenty
Well, the
of
nice
space
thing
to
is
do
moving
that?
those forward.
That's
four
what the
classes
great
over.
promotion, yeah,
So-
so we should free up space.
You know, it's not ideal, and she can tell you more about where you put the kids, because you want to have a restroom and something like that, but yeah, it'd be great to have more. Now, what's the criteria if your son wets his pants during his interview process?
Well, we red flagged it, it's okay.
My son was a little nervous.
He's 2 years
He's two.
old, kind of a little slack man.
He's almost 3.
He is almost slack. I felt sorry for the teacher who had to come in with the superintendent's son and say, oh.
My daughter attends the program and she just absolutely loves it.
We have had amazing results, and I can't wait.
She has
So
moved
excited.
it's amazing what they've done with those kids.
And we talk to people, it's hard to get that concept, you know, this is kind of John's baby, John and Christy, to do this, but to think kids have to be prepared for kindergarten. You know, it was not that way when we were all in school, and these kids have to be ready for kindergarten. Who never thought that? You used to go to school, you just go for your colors and, you know, some learning. These kids have to be.
They have to be reading at 1.5 grade level, which means first grade, 5th month, when they leave kindergarten now. I mean, if you compare that to the old standards. So that's probably the biggest jump in my building, from the GLEs to the Missouri Learning Standards. That was probably the one that we went, oh, at the most.
So if you did have to just serve those 30 children, then the 13 that got left out, they would be the children that are more advanced?
Correct.
Okay.
They wouldn't have as much need. It's not necessarily advanced or not advanced, it's
It's
just
not
academic need. Yeah.
closer to the kindergarten standard than the
Correct,
others?
yes,
Okay.
more kindergarten ready. 4-year-olds do get preference. Anything else?
Any other questions? Good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mrs. Wisdom?
Mr. Smith told me I had a book, so I will hurry.
Big Fred.
Our March attendance watch looks great. I'm so excited to say that we have 94.6% of our students here 90% of the time. So that's looking great. I think I'm almost as big of an attendance star as you are. So we still have 10% of our students that have perfect attendance as well. I'm proud to announce that last Saturday, the 12th, we had students that attended the MCTM Math Regional Contest. The students spent the morning testing in different areas of mathematics as individuals and teams. In the area of number sense for 6th grade, Katrina Parks took 5th, Colson C 4th, and Andy Bauer 2nd. In the target event area, 6th place went to Colson C. I'm sorry, for 6th grade, Colson C took 5th place, Katrina Parks took 4th place. In the sprint event for 5th grade, Martin Jones took 3rd place. You guys have all this, I don't need to read it to you, but I am proud to announce that the team of Martin Jones, Katrina Parks, and Colson C took 4th place out of 20 teams in the team event. And I need to say congratulations to all of them. Martin Jones and Colson C are now qualifying to go on to state. I believe the last state we had was over the Airway when she got to go on to state. So it's quite exciting, and I think Mr. McCullough received a text message on Saturday from Rolla saying that Salem Elementary was taking the awards, so we were proud of them. As well, on Saturday, I was in Jeff City with our 5th and 6th grade Tiger Choir. We had 65 kids sing, and they were the little guys in a big contest. We were the only 5th and 6th grade choir that competed. And you know, anytime in a music contest, you're not competing against others, you're competing with yourself. So we were in a room. It's a wonderful experience because when the students following their 2 songs, the judges will come in clinic with them, work with them, tell them what suggestions they would make, and then they actually have them play that part of the song and have the students sing with the suggestions they made. And so our kids walk out of there feeling even more proud because, they're able to do what the judges have said they need them to do. They received a 1 rating Saturday. So Saturday was a great day for Upper Elementary.
I have a video.
They did a super job. Congratulations to our March students of the month. 3rd grade was Brooklyn Stenhoff, 4th grade was Jordan Snyder, 5th grade Desiree Scott, and 6th grade Colson C. I also wanted to tell you, if you didn't read it in the paper, that we hosted a technology parent meeting on April 1st. We hosted it with R80, R2, and R4, and some 4-H parents. It's a lady out of St. Charles County. She's on the task force for technology safety with children, predators, etc. I am disappointed to say we only had 7 people in attendance because I was blown away at the information she provided. It was for adults only, parents only. She was very specific in what she told us, but having a 9-year-old, I didn't go for my 9-year-old, I went because we were hosting it in our building. But when I sat down, I was blown away at what 9-year-olds can get brought into as far up as the high school. I know I put this in here, so if you guys don't care to mark it out, we had tried to reschedule another night. When our parents got done, about an hour into it, they said, will you come back? And she said, yes, I would come back. And they said, how can we get out word of mouth? Basically word of mouth. I mean, we put it in the newspaper, we had flyers out, we sent emails out to everybody, but I think it's just such a busy time of year with ball games and different activities going on that all the parents couldn't make it. She rescheduled for the 22nd, but as of today at 5 o'clock, I still haven't gotten a flyer from her. So I'm having a feeling she's going to be canceling it and rescheduling it. But if you would see it by any chance in a flyer coming up, take the time to come to it because it was very informative. Also need to say congratulations to our archery in the school students. They competed at Lake of the Ozarks. The middle school team that has qualified to go to nationals are Anna Wigger, Autumn Haley, Mackenzie Whitaker, Dawson Conway, Kara Lacey, Dylan Pryor, Jacob Terrell, Jacob Blackwell, Jordan Sanders, Kennison Parker, London Cook, Phoebe Calicut, Shakota Gott, Sydney Gamble, Megan Myslinski, Trevor Tholey, Zach Thompson, Wilman Midget, Irv Johnson, Baylor Petty, Colson C., Claudia Chilton, Dylan Fleener, Nina Howard, and Michaela Fisk. Louisville, Kentucky hosts the nationals, and I'm sad to say that yesterday, Mr. Carvajal was there yesterday when Mrs. Radford had gotten an email. Unfortunately, the NASP program has more shooters that qualify than they do slots for them to shoot at. So we don't know if our kids are going to get a slot to shoot at. It's very frustrating, and Mrs. Radford and I both were there to register them for state. We both were at school at 7 o'clock that morning because they literally give you a timer and they tell you in 30 seconds you can enroll these students and give them flight times, and you have to be ready because they will fill up immediately. So we were literally at our computers trying to give time slots, and I know people don't realize that, but that's just the way the NASP program works. So fingers crossed that they open up some more slots so our kids get to go. That's one of the frustrating things with NASP. So. Mrs. Beasley and our 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade Tiger Choirs will be putting on a musical called Broadway Beat on May 12th. So if you're not doing anything May 12th, come on out. They're really excited. This is the first musical they've put on. It's at 6 o'clock at the high school gym. We also participated in the Spread the Word to End the Word challenge in the month of April. Our students signed a pledge to not use the word retarded, and they signed a handprint pledge which spelled the word everyone. If you've seen it on the website, it turned out really neat. It covered the entire gym wall. Our 5th and 6th grade students will host a literature fair on Tuesday evening, April 29th. If you're out and about and would like to come by. We scored 100% on our PBS set evaluation and we're getting ready to do our next celebration next week. The 6th grade Wax Museum will also be Tuesday, May 6th at 1 o'clock. If you haven't attended this in the past, you should take some time to stop by. These kids truly become the person that they have researched. They become in character, dress in character. You push their button and they become in real life that character. They spend a lot of time, and it's very nerve-wracking for 6th graders to stand in front of people and do that. So if you have a chance, stop by. It's really great. And if you haven't heard, we're getting ready to map test. Didn't include that on there. We're ready. Our kids are tired of it already, so but they're ready to go. Our 5th grade will start next week, and then the whole building will be the following week. So we're excited.
I should have included, we also got 100 on our set, and we have applied, my PBS team, which is how they come in and evaluate how well you've implemented your PBS standards. And did you guys apply for the bronze? We've applied for the bronze as well. We've gotten silver 2 years in a row, and so the next step up is bronze, so we have applied for bronze this year. So.
I forgot to ask you guys, Katie, how is the summer school enrollment looking?
We just sent ours home,
Just started.
so I don't have a good number on that.
John said it got accepted, the application accepted today, so.
The what?
All right, summer school application got accepted.
Yes. I really don't have numbers. I think I'm
Still
probably
probably
around
early.
30 right now.
I'm more than that just because my kindergartner is registered during kindergarten registration. But my school kids just got the applications. But they're already telling me how they're going to spend $100.
Yeah.
Ms. Lewis?
I'm going to start off the junior high report with congratulating our students of the month. 7th grade students of the month were Destiny Rumster and Jacob Warner. 8th grade students of the month were Ashley Thompson and Sam Swindell. 9th grade students of the month were Carson Mallory and Texas Null. I'd also like to recognize the FACS class. The advanced class makes breakfast for our students of the month. They do an excellent job. So the kids get to have breakfast during the first hour, and they always enjoy that. They do a good job presenting that and cleaning up, and the kids get to go and have breakfast and miss first hour and have it excused, so they're always excited about that. Our junior high spring formal is going to be April 25th, 6 to 9 p.m. We have kind of a Las Vegas theme. The kids have been working very hard on this, and they're excited. They're doing something new this year by pre-selling the tickets. So if you have relatives, people in the junior high that are wanting to go, make sure they know they have to buy their tickets ahead of time. Our next PBS reward day is scheduled for Friday the 25th, so it's going to be a busy day at the junior high. Congratulations to our junior high mixed choir. They received a Superior 1 rating at the Mid-Missouri Music Contest as a large ensemble on April 12th. Yes. Congratulations to all the students performing in solos and small ensembles. The following received a 1 rating: the 8th grade girls ensemble, the 7th grade mixed quartet, and the following soloists: Olivia Irway, Paige Du Bois, Nathan Watts, and Jacob Stotler. So our junior high was very well represented. They did an excellent job. We're very proud of them. Our cafeteria does a great job with our students. I don't know if they did this with the high school, I don't know if your cafeterias did this, but ours did an Easter egg hunt for our students this week. If they had a sticker on the bottom of their tray, they got a special treat. They've done this for other holidays and things, and the kids really get involved in it. It's kind of neat for the cafeteria to do that, so we appreciate all the work that they do. We also had our school evaluation visit from our PBDC. They came on April 2nd to evaluate our PBS program. And for the first time, the junior high scored 100%. Last year we got 95%. That had previously been our highest score, and this year we got 100%, so we're very excited. And we've also applied for the bronze recognition, so we should hear back from that. All 3 of us should hear back from that sometime in May. We do have our MAP testing beginning next week for 7th and 8th graders. 7th graders are going to be tested in communication, arts, and math. 8th graders will be assessed in communication, arts, math, and science. Of course, our freshmen start the EOC testing on April 29th for English 1 and on May 11th for Algebra 1. We're going to be giving daily rewards this year for participation and for doing their best on the test. Our students and our staff are pretty excited about it. Any questions? Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. Lock you there. Kick me when I go too long. Kick me.
It never goes long.
I know. Congrats to the March Students of the Month at the high school, Chris Mackley and Kayla Aller. And at the last month SEA Math and Science Relay winners, Josh Surwa, 2nd place in Algebra 2. Dr. Swad, did you ever win 2nd place in Algebra 2?
Never.
Never.
I was 3rd once.
Yeah. Dylan Arthur, 4th place in measurements. Hayden Major, 1st place in trigonometry. John Ferguson, 1st place in advanced math. Nicholas Julian, 1st place in biology 1. Daniel Schultz, 2nd place in biology 2. Daniel Schultz, 3rd place in chemistry 2. The sophomore team of Joshua, Brianna Tatum, Alex Major, Madison Knight took 1st place, and we were 1st place in the team challenge. So we always perform well at the SEA Math and Science Relays. We're proud of our students. Recent science fair with our science classes with Mrs. Sanders and mainly her classes, also Mrs. Barnes, Mrs. Rahman. Zach Irway took 1st place at the science fair. Did you ever win 1st place? Never? Kids are out doing the parents.
What a shock.
Alex Major took 2nd place.
Science fair.
And honorable mention was Jack Connor, Brady Hagler, Madison Knight, Kara Sersel, and Jamie Stevens. Our music program has had a lot of success. Band for the first time in how long do we think, Mr. Roberts?
At least 6 years.
6 years. We took 1 rating, which is the top rating at the state music contest for bands. And the chamber choir took they had 1 rating, also at the same music conference. That's the highest you can get. Also, I believe it's the end of next week when they leave for their trip.
Yes, next Friday.
Going to Nashville, the National Chamber Choir Contest. So we have several students Probably how many, 15, 20?
24.
23, 24? We need to know how many are going before they get on the bus. For sure. 23 or 24?
Yeah, we're doing a bag search first, so we'll get
Okay. So we have several parents and teachers going with Mrs. Russell. So that's a bit exciting time. Exciting time. Congrats to the following students and groups who received one at districts and will be moving on to the state competition. And that is Haley Kaysen, solo, and Sydney Wood with a solo. And then our girls double quartet, our boys quartet, and our mixed ensemble are all moving on to state with music. So kudos to our music program.
We also have 4 instrumentalists that are going to state.
Okay.
4 solo instrumentalists.
Awesome. Right before the Saturday ACT test, we got 18 students who gave up part of their Saturday to come in and help and prepare for the ACT. I want to thank Mrs. Barnes and Mrs. Wigger for giving up part of their Saturday to help prepare those students. I'd like to say thank you to the media for the very nice article in the paper with our 10 students that are 30 plus this year with the ACT, which shattered our previous record. That's fantastic. I don't think we have the results yet on the April, at least I haven't seen them yet. And we also have the June test. And we had several kids that were at 28, 29 that were going to retest because they wanted to be in that group of 30. So we could end up with more than 10 students. So
You're going to have to hit triple digits before you get on the front page.
I know, yeah. We're going to shoot for that. That was fantastic. We had another successful blood drive on March 24th, and they sent us the community blood drive of the Ozarks. Since we've had blood drives through the community blood drive of the Ozarks, we've had 2,613 donations. So that's a huge number of donations. We also have the Red Cross from time to time, so we've had even more donations than that. Numerous students attended the State Capitol Youth Art Month art show and award ceremony in Jeff City recently. And if you look on the front page of the website, school website, you'll see some of their artwork. It's fantastic. Alex Major received the President's Award and received a plaque and art supplies. Her work was also on the front cover of the awards program, which was a very nice honor. Kimberlyn Meyer was honored as her work was selected to represent the 16th District of Missouri in the Senate hallway display, and will be on display for 1 year at the state capitol. So that's another huge honor. So once again, more of our students being successful and doing what they do best. The following students have been selected to attend the 2014 American Legion Boys State of Missouri program this summer. Josiah Beckett, Jack Connor, Nicholas Cowan, Casey Davison, Nicholas Julian, Hayden Major, Frank Schott, and Dane Thompson. So congrats to them. We also recently had a lot of contests. We had the 2014 Ozark River Solid Waste Management District Earth Day poster contest winners. There was a lot, and there was a lot of school districts too, by the way. So I'm almost finished. 10th grade, second place went to Caitlin Slater, and the honorable mention was Alvin Long. 11th grade, first place was Jennifer Campbell. Second place, Lindsay Head. Honorable mention was Dimitri Locke. And for all the grades, the trash art doesn't mean it was bad art. It means they used trash to make the art. First place for everybody, for all the schools, was Stephanie Kelso. So that was a very good honor. Fantastic.
Mr. Schmidt?
I'm almost finished.
Oh, okay.
We had a successful prom on Saturday, April 12th, and I love proms. I go every year. I love prom. This really was one of the best proms I've attended at Salem. It was the Great Gatsby thing, which was my favorite novel to teach when I was a teacher. And
They have prom back then?
yeah. It was well attended. Decorations were fantastic. The food was wonderful. Virginia Parker catered it for us. It was fantastic. And due to numerous activities on that Saturday, quiz bowls, districts, we only had one varsity team member that was able to go, and it was Daniel Schultz. So we had the rest of the team made up of JV. We had like 2 or 3 other school activities, so choices had to be made. They still took second place, got all the way to the finals, and that was just a fantastic achievement with only one varsity member. Daniel Schultz was the overall first place point winner. So congratulations to our quiz bowl team. EOC started in 1 week. And also like to let everybody know credit recovery and driver's ed. Summer school is back. It's not been advertised yet, and we already have enough for one of the 2 sessions without even any advertisement. So that'll be on the website next week and get info out, and that second session will fill up in a hurry.
And we give everybody the dates on that too, right? And we talked about it for May 27th, right? That's the Tuesday? June 13th, 14 days. Okay.
But not for driver's ed goes all the way through.
All through summer.
All through the summer.
Okay, 2 sessions.
Okay. Any questions?
Excellent.
Kind of an interesting thing with the kids going to Nashville is we have a Katie Wallen, who is a graduate of Salem, who is a very
Yes.
good classical cellist, is actually, I believe, a senior there, and we were able to contact them, and they're going to do it, not only a tour, but their choir director is going to give our kids an hour clinic there on Friday when we had some open time. So, kind of
No, I get asked.
You say they, who is they? You said their choir teacher.
Vanderbilt's
Vanderbilt.
choir
Okay, that's
director.
what I was thinking, I couldn't
Yeah.
think of any other universities.
I can give you his name, but it's
I
on the
don't,
phone.
I don't need it.
It's very impressive.
That's very prestigious, yes.
Okay, Mr. McCullough.
All right,
Hudson McCullough, sorry.
I decided to do this in chunks, otherwise we'd be here all night. So I'm going to do a small chunk tonight, a small chunk in May, and then I think by June we'll be ready to get into the nuts and bolts and talk about proposing this for adoption. But anyway, due to some changes at the state level and some things to do with the federal waiver for No Child Left Behind, districts are having to look at their evaluation systems for their staff. We're talking about all staff here, not just teachers, but administrators, support staff, and everyone. And we're having to make some changes based on some new criteria. So what I'm going to do tonight is just kind of give you a little bit of what that criteria is. And as we look to adopt a new evaluation system, what we're looking at is the district and the criteria that we're looking at following. And I'll be the first to say, I think administrators will agree that this is a good thing. Because the evaluation system that we have in place at the moment is more of a summative at the end of the year. This is how you did. We're going to rehire you, we're not going to rehire you, and that's it. But what we're moving to is an evaluation system that's ongoing throughout the year, and the key word here is growth. All right? Because our belief, as we look at this new evaluation system, is that by improving educators and by improving their practice, we're going to improve student performance. And, you know, that makes sense. And so our ultimate goal here, by this teacher evaluation system and what we're looking to put into place, is for one reason. We want it to increase student achievement and improve student performance. And so we want our teachers to grow, and we want our administrators to grow, and we want our board to grow so our students can grow. Okay? And that's what we're looking at here. Keyword being growth. And I know you can't read that, but I'm going to kind of go through these 4 things and show you. But this is kind of shows you that it goes in a cycle. It's not just that you have formative evaluation at the beginning of the year, you have a summative evaluation at the end of the year, and then that's it. It's an ongoing cycle that continues throughout the year and continues out throughout the life of whatever staff member, as long as they're in our district. So the first one being that you assess the baseline performance. And so at the beginning of the year, there's 36 criteria. And at the beginning of the year, what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 or 3 criteria that we're going to focus on. Does that mean we're going to ignore the other criteria? Absolutely not. But we're really going to limit our focus and get really good at 2 or 3 things. So we're going to have a district criteria that's going to be based on our CSIP that we're working on now. Each building is going to collaboratively get together and develop a building criteria that they're going to focus on. And then if you have a teacher that's maybe struggling in another area that they need to have some growth on, they could have a 3rd criteria or even a 4th criteria. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sit down with those teachers at the beginning of the year, look at those criteria, and we're going to establish the baseline. Based on evidence for being in your classroom, this is where you are now. It could be an emerging teacher, it could be a beginning teacher. It's on a 7-point scale. So maybe you're at a 2. And we don't just pull that number out because that's what we think. It's got to be based on research-based practices and on evidence, things that we can actually look at to determine this is where you currently are. And once we set that and we use data, we believe that this gives teachers the opportunities to grow. And given those opportunities, they can then focus their learning, they can have constant feedback from their administrator, and this can be applied to generate growth. Focus feedback and learning to address growth. When we have these in place, then we improve educator performance, and educator performance can be validated and replicated. And again, why are we doing this? Because we want to increase student achievement. Okay? So that's what we have in thought. But the important thing tonight, what I want to get to, are the essential principles of effective evaluation. When our evaluation system is finished, and we have one that we're using now, and we're piloting in the buildings just to see how it works. When it's finished, it has to address these 7 things, and that's everywhere in the state of Missouri. And our current evaluation system does not meet all these. Our current evaluation system somewhat meets 5 of them. 2 of them it doesn't meet at all. Okay, so we're looking at changing to meet these, and I believe you're going to like these. Number 1, the evaluation system needs to have clear expectations for the teachers. Is that the case now? Somewhat yes, somewhat no. They need to clearly understand this is where I am, and this is what I need to do to grow to the point where you want me to be. It all needs to be based on research-based, proven performance targets. Okay? It's not just an arbitrary thing we throw out there. It's not just a subjective call by the administrators. It's got to be based on evidence and based on research-based, proven performance targets. It needs to be differentiated. Multiple ratings, because our teachers, when we start out, we got 4 categories. But again, these are very specific, and the teachers and the administrators have a rubric that they look for evidence, and they say, okay, you're at a 2, but by doing these things, we'd like to end the year see you at a 5. And this is how you get there, and this is how I'm going to support you getting there. Okay? Probationary period for new teachers. New teachers need more support, and that's a problem in our education, public education today. There's a lot of information and data on there about new teachers and how long they last, and about half the teachers quit after year 3. Why is that? Lack of support. Okay? And so we want a system in place that's not a hey, I got you system. We want a system in place that's going to help them grow and become teachers that are going to stay in Salem and be productive teachers in our community. The 4th is student measures. Now this is the one that when teachers see this, they kind of, because what do they think? My job depends on what? Kids and what they perform on the math test. 1 test at the end of the year. Okay? And that's not the case at all. What this means is that student performance is just one of many measures to determine your effectiveness. And it's not just 1 test at the end of the year that's a math test. It's based on a number of assessments given throughout the year that shows growth for every student. So we're not saying everyone in your class needs to be proficient on the math test at the end of the year, you're gone. What we're saying is, when this kid enters your class, he enters at this level based on this assessment. When your kid leaves your class at the end of this year, we need to see some growth. And I don't think that's an unfair expectation. That's why they're there. Okay? And so you got to kind of get the old AYP, 100% of your kids need to be at this level. That's gone. That's done with. We're looking at growth over multiple measures over a period of time. Okay? And so I think once the teachers understand that, and I believe they do for the most part, they'll be more accepting of this measure. Right? But it's important. This is another good one. Regular, meaningful feedback from the administrators. Oftentimes with many of our teachers, there is a 7-8 meeting in April, or in March, before they're rehired. And in some cases, with especially some of our experienced teachers that we know are good, that's it. But with this new system, you continually go in the classroom, you continually meet with them after each session, and you guys sit down and discuss. This is what I saw. This is areas that you've grown in. These are areas I'd like to see some more of. Okay, and again, it's based on data, and it's based on things that you can see going on in the classroom, and it goes on throughout the year. And so I think that's the other side of this, though, is it's going to be a lot on our building administrators. Being in the classrooms takes time, but that's not the big one. The big one is meeting with the teachers afterwards and finding time in their busy schedule to do that throughout the year. But it's so important. Feedback, there's so much research about feedback and the usefulness and the effectiveness of feedback, not only with students, but with teachers. Okay? And feedback is not, hey, you're doing a great job. That's not feedback. And so that's something as an administrative team we've got to continue to work on and get better at. But that is something that I think is extremely important in this process. Number 6, this is another good one, but new. Evaluator training. If you, Mr. Smith, how were you trained to do evaluations?
Just did them.
You just did it, okay? That, there really wasn't any. You just went in the classroom and started doing it, you had a checklist, and you marked it, and you marked it. But what our administrators have already gone through a series of 4 all-day trainings, and we're going to continue that. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit down, we're going to watch a class, right now on video, then next year we'll start doing it in actual classrooms. And then we're going to mark and we're going to rate based on evidence and this criteria, where would you rate what's going on in that classroom? And then we'll get together and talk. Well, why did you give it a 4? Why did you give it a 5? Why did you give it a 3? And we practice that over and over, and we continue to be trained on it. And what that does is that gives reliability and validity when you score that teacher on what level they're at. And so that's something that's key as well. And then finally, the 7th principle is the use of evaluation results. And this is why we do evaluations. We do them for 2 reasons. Well, right now we do them for 1, to rehire or fire. Next year we're going to do it for 2 reasons. For that still, but more importantly for growth. We're going to use the data from these to continue to grow not only the teachers, but the administrators, and then ultimately, as the school board also employs this process with Mr. Carbajal, you guys will get this as well. So it's an important process, and something that administratively we're excited about. And districts that have already put this in place this year, feedback from the teachers has been very positive. I'm actually benefiting now from the administrator being in my classroom and from the ongoing conversations afterwards, rather than, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up. That's nice, but it doesn't help us grow. And everybody in this room can grow. And every teacher in this district can grow, every administrator in this district can grow. So these are our next steps. We're going to continue to train administratively and with our teacher leaders on the model. We're going to pilot the system this spring. The busy schedule and the snow days, that's been kind of rough, but we're still working on it. And then either probably early summer, we're going to present the finalized evaluation to the board for your consideration. And then once we have the CSIP in place and the evaluation system's been finalized and adopted, the administrative team and the teacher leaders will then sit down and decide the criteria we want to focus on for the next school year. So, questions? Next month, I'll get into more of exactly the nuts and bolts of the evaluation tool that we're looking at and what it looks like. Didn't think probably need to get into that. That's our reasoning, and that's where we're headed. Okay?
That's good.
All right. Thank you.
Need to approve the meal prices for next year.
We gotta go to the cereal and go ahead and do 5 cents.
Moved by Chris, second by everybody. Drew. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need to set the 2014-15 tuition,
Same.
same as last year.
Makes it easy.
Same for 17.
Motion to leave the tuition as last year.
74-17.
Moved by Dustin, second by Larry. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Then we need to approve the MSBA board policy updates. Can you explain to them?
I've got them here. You've had them in your packet. Rather than going through every one of them, I guess I'll just mention administratively looked at these and give our recommendation, and then if you have specific questions on them or whatever, we can address it that way. Most of these are state or federal law or court decisions that you have no choice on. The SBA clearly states that if you reject this, that you might find yourself in some trouble. So we propose to accept each board policy update as is, presented except for IHB. And if you look at IHB, this is one that's up to districts, and it really doesn't have to do with our area. It has to do more with what's going on in St. Louis and Kansas City, with school districts that become unaccredited, and students from those districts have to go to neighboring districts, and they're having a problem with overcrowding the classrooms. Basically what IHB says is the board can adopt a target class size based on superintendent recommendation. And then the board will not admit a non-resident student if the target size is exceeded. And again, this mainly applies to districts dealing with transfer situations. This is not a problem in our district and will not be for the foreseeable future. But what it does limit some things that you can do if we do adopt it. They also strongly recommend getting your attorney involved, because if you deny a student admittance because of a class size, you can find yourself in some hot water. So we felt as a team right now that we could reject that, and if it becomes an issue in the future, we could look at revisiting and possibly adopting it. Everything else we thought was fine and adopt as is. Any questions on any policy?
If you new members, we are actually, you have to be members of MSBA, and so you pay a fee every year so that they do a lot of services, and this is one of the best ones is honing down the new policies and making recommendations for.
And keep sleeping.
And so they are recommending that we
They do all the policy updates for you.
accept
The
these.
one that we're rejecting is not a recommendation. That one was just created at the request of some St. Louis area schools. And so that's one, there was another one we had a choice on that we liked, but the majority of them, they will say, because of statutes or court decisions, you really need to adopt this, and that's the majority of it.
We have a link on the website where you can go to the policies.
Okay.
That's how we always talk, that's what they're paying to do, that's the, regional attorneys. So it's a good,
We've
very
got it
good,
in hard copy too here, if you ever want to
good service for us.
peruse. Yeah, take you long. Okay.
Make a motion to approve the updates with the one omitted that Mr. McCullough.
Moved by Dustin, second by Chris. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resignations.
We have quite a few retirement resignations. We have one from Wanda Nichols, high school art. One from Danny Pryor, retirement resignation.
He found out today, he started, what was it, 32 years ago? And he started in April and realized he could retire in April, whatever, so he came in again.
Good for him. Custodian.
Custodian, yeah.
Marjorie Wilbur is retiring. She's high school English. David Blankenship, retiring. Maintenance, head of maintenance. And then we have some resignations. One from Sean Guffey, resigning as the 7th grade football coach. One from Amanda Akins. Amanda Akins. One from Melissa Crow, 5th grade special education teacher. And one from Tori Parker. I think she was an aide at the developmental preschool.
Tori with an I or an I?
T-O-R-I.
Anybody related to anybody? Drew, you related to any of them?
Motion to approve resignations as presented.
Moved by Dustin, second by Larry. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 7-0. Anything else? Nope. Okay.
Motion to adjourn and move into closed session.
Moved by Dustin, second by Drew. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0. Thank you all for coming.